It might surprise you, but a surprising number of common vegetables can actually worsen blood sugar control in people with diabetes, especially if they're eaten in excess or without proper pairing with other foods. Understanding which vegetables to limit, and just as importantly why, is absolutely crucial for managing diabetes effectively and maintaining those stable glucose levels for better overall health. Top 7 dangerous vegetables that worsen diabetes and blood sugar. Now, while vegetables are generally hailed as health heroes, some of them pack a surprising carbohydrate punch that can send blood sugar levels soaring if you're not careful. For individuals managing diabetes or even pre-diabetes, knowing which ones to treat with caution is truly essential. So let's dive into the starchy culprits that require a little extra attention on your plate. 1 and 2. Potatoes, white and sweet. Potatoes, in their many forms, are a beloved comfort food all around the world. However, for those of us managing diabetes, both white and sweet potatoes present significant challenges. This is mainly due to their high carbohydrate content and the impact they can have on blood sugar. White potatoes, particularly when they're peeled and processed, have a high glycemic index, often called GI. This means they can cause a rapid spike in your glucose levels. Just think of a fluffy baked potato, creamy mashed potatoes, or those crispy French fries. These common preparations can deliver a concentrated dose of quickly digestible carbs. For instance, a single medium-baked white potato can contain around 35 to 40 grams of carbohydrates. And when it's mashed with butter and milk, or deep-fried, the calorie and unhealthy fat content also escalate, further complicating blood sugar management and your overall health. Sweet potatoes are often marketed as a healthier alternative, and it's true, they do offer more fiber and certain nutrients like vitamin A when compared to white potatoes. However, they are still very carbohydrate dense. A medium-baked sweet potato can contain roughly 25 to 30 grams of carbohydrates. While its GI might be slightly lower than a white potato, especially if you eat it with the skin on, the total carbohydrate load still requires careful consideration. The allure of sweet potato fries, sugary sweet potato casseroles, or even just large baked sweet potatoes can easily lead to an excessive carbohydrate intake. It's not that these vegetables are inherently bad, but their dense carbohydrate nature means that portion control and your preparation method are absolutely critical. Overconsumption without balancing the meal with protein and non-starchy vegetables can unfortunately lead to those undesirable blood sugar excursions. Understanding this allows you to make more informed choices, perhaps opting for a very small serving or choosing a less starchy alternative altogether. Some healthier alternatives you might consider include cauliflower mash, turnip fries, or jicama sticks, which can offer a similar texture with far fewer carbs. If you do choose to include potatoes, try to opt for small skin-on portions, perhaps boiled or baked, and always remember to pair them with ample protein and fiber to help slow down glucose absorption. An interesting tip: cooling potatoes after cooking can also slightly increase their resistant starch, which may modestly lessen the glycemic impact. 3. Corn. Next on our list is corn. With its sweet, juicy kernels, corn is a popular vegetable, especially during the summer months and in many processed foods. However, its starchy nature and carbohydrate content make it a vegetable that people with diabetes really need to approach with caution. A medium ear of corn can contain approximately 15 to 20 grams of carbohydrates, primarily in the form of starch, which, as we know, breaks down into sugar in your body. This can lead to a noticeable rise in blood glucose levels, particularly if it's consumed in large quantities or without adequate pairing with other food groups. The glycemic index of corn can vary depending on its form and preparation, but it generally falls into the moderate to high range. When considering corn, it's important to differentiate between fresh, canned, and frozen varieties, as well as how it's prepared. Fresh corn on the cob or plain frozen kernels are generally preferable to canned versions, which may contain added sodium or even sugar, so always check the label on canned products. The real danger often lies in prepared corn dishes, where hidden sugars and fats can significantly increase the glycemic load. Think of things like cornbread, corn muffins, creamed corn, corn chowders, or corn-based snacks like chips and puffs. These items often combine the starchiness of corn with added sugars, refined flours, and unhealthy fats, creating a perfect storm for blood sugar spikes. For safer consumption, if you choose to eat corn, try to limit your portion to about half an ear or half a cup of kernels. It's best to treat it as your starch serving for that meal, not just as a free vegetable. Pairing it with lean protein and plenty of non-starchy vegetables can help mitigate its impact on your blood sugar. And what about popcorn? Well, air-popped popcorn is a whole grain and can be a decent snack in moderation. We're talking about 1 to 2 cups, unbuttered and unsweetened. But please be mindful that larger servings will still contribute a significant amount of carbohydrates. 4. Peas. All right, let's talk about green peas. Often seen as a simple and healthy side dish, green peas are another starchy vegetable that can pose challenges for blood sugar control if not managed carefully. While they do offer fiber, protein, for a vegetable that is, vitamins and minerals, their carbohydrate content is notably higher than that of non-starchy green vegetables like broccoli or spinach. A typical serving of about 3/4 of a cup of cooked green peas contains around 15 grams of carbohydrates. That's similar to a slice of bread or a small piece of fruit. This quantity of carbohydrates can certainly impact blood glucose levels, especially if portion sizes are not kept in check. The glycemic index of peas is generally in the low to moderate range. However, the glycemic load, which considers both the GI and the amount of carbs in a serving, can become significant with larger portions. It's quite easy to overconsume peas, particularly when they are served as a generous side or mixed into dishes like casseroles or pasta salads, where their quantity isn't easily controlled. If you have diabetes, this seemingly innocuous vegetable can contribute to an unexpected rise in blood sugar if you're not accounting for its carbohydrate contribution to your meal. To enjoy peas more safely, the key is to focus on moderation. Instead of a large standalone serving, try incorporating a smaller amount, say half a cup, into a mixed dish that also includes plenty of non-starchy vegetables and a good source of lean protein. This helps to balance the meal and slow down the absorption of sugar. Measuring your portions, rather than scooping generously, is a key strategy here. By being mindful of how much you're eating and what you're eating them with, you can still include peas in your diet without derailing your blood sugar management efforts. 5 and 6. Winter squash and beets. Moving on, let's look at winter squash and beets. The vibrant hues of winter squash like butternut, acorn, and Hubbard, along with the deep red of beets, often signal a powerhouse of nutrients. And while they do offer beneficial vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, both winter squash and beets are higher in carbohydrates and have a more significant glycemic impact than many other vegetables. This places them on the caution list for individuals managing diabetes. Winter squashes, for example, are much starchier than their summer counterparts, like zucchini. A 1-cup serving of cooked butternut squash can contain around 15 to 20 grams of carbohydrates. Beets, known for their natural sweetness, also contribute a fair amount of sugar and carbs. A cup of cooked sliced beets has roughly 13 to 15 grams of carbohydrates. The way these vegetables are prepared can further influence their effect on blood sugar. Roasting, a popular method for both, can caramelize their natural sugars, potentially increasing their glycemic effects slightly and making them even more palatable, which might lead to larger servings. Mashed winter squash, similar to mashed potatoes, can be very easy to overeat. And those creamy squash soups often have added ingredients that increase carbs and calories. For beets, while boiling or roasting are common, pickled beets can sometimes contain added sugar, so it's wise to check labels. To incorporate these nutritious vegetables without causing significant blood sugar fluctuations, moderation is absolutely key. Aim for smaller portion sizes, typically no more than half a cup to 1 cup, and ensure they are part of a balanced meal that includes lean protein, healthy fats, and plenty of non-starchy, high-fiber vegetables. This combination helps to slow down the digestion and absorption of the carbohydrates from the squash or beets. You might also consider using raw, grated beets in salads for a smaller, lower-impact serving, or choosing winter squash varieties that are slightly lower in carbs if possible. 7. Carrots, cooked. And finally, let's discuss cooked carrots. Carrots are widely recognized for their health benefits, particularly their rich beta-carotene content, which is excellent for eye health. However, when it comes to blood sugar management, there's a notable difference between raw and cooked carrots that diabetics should understand. While raw carrots have a relatively low glycemic index, GI, due to their fiber content, the cooking process actually alters their structure. Cooking, especially boiling or prolonged stewing, breaks down the cell walls of the carrots, making their natural sugars more readily available for digestion and absorption. This results in cooked carrots having a higher GI compared to their raw form. Now, this doesn't mean you must avoid cooked carrots entirely, but it does mean they should be consumed with more awareness, particularly regarding portion size and what they are paired with. If you enjoy cooked carrots, think of them more as a starchy component of your meal rather than a free vegetable you can eat in unlimited quantities. A half-cup serving of cooked carrots is a reasonable portion to aim for. Be especially cautious with preparations like glazed carrots, which have added sugar, or carrot dishes where they are mashed or pureed, as this can further increase the speed of sugar absorption. To enjoy cooked carrots more safely, try to pair them with lean protein and healthy fats, which can help to buffer their impact on blood sugar. Including other non-starchy, high-fiber vegetables in the same meal will also contribute to better overall glucose control. If you are particularly sensitive to carbohydrate intake, opting for raw carrots in salads or as snacks might be a better choice for maintaining stable blood sugar levels. Other factors to consider. Beyond simply identifying starchy vegetables, several other factors significantly influence how they affect your blood sugar. The preparation method is paramount. Frying vegetables, for instance, not only adds unhealthy fats and a tremendous number of calories, but can also increase the overall glycemic load of the meal. Similarly, coating vegetables in sugary sauces, creamy dressings, or excessive cheese adds extra carbohydrates, fats, and calories that can destabilize glucose levels. Portion control remains a cornerstone of diabetes management, especially with starchy vegetables. Even healthier starchy options can cause blood sugar spikes if eaten in large quantities. Using smaller plates, measuring cups, or visual cues like the plate method can help you manage serving sizes effectively. Finally, the difference between processed and fresh vegetables is crucial. Canned or pre-prepared vegetable dishes often contain hidden sodium, unhealthy fats, or added sugars to enhance flavor and shelf life. Always opt for fresh or plain frozen vegetables whenever possible, and be diligent about reading labels on any processed vegetable products to avoid these unwanted additions that can sabotage your blood sugar control efforts. So, to wrap things up, selecting the right vegetables and practicing meticulous portion control are key pillars in managing diabetes and maintaining stable blood sugar. Being mindful of preparation methods and pairing foods wisely can help you enjoy a varied diet while preventing unwanted glucose spikes and supporting your overall health journey. If you found this information helpful, we encourage you to share it with others who might benefit from understanding how to better manage their diabetes. We'd genuinely love to hear about your own experiences or any tips you have, so please feel free to share your thoughts. And if you're interested in more evidence-based advice on healthy eating for diabetes, do consider subscribing for more. Your insights really could make a significant difference.